Okay, hello everyone. Today is Saturday, May the 13th. Excuse me. And we are continuing our study of healing with the chakras. And Harriott, would you like to begin?
Yes, I will. And before we get started with our session today, let us take a deep cleansing breath. And let that deep cleansing breath clear away all the negativity and turmoil that might be disturbing us. And let it go as we exhale. We are grateful. Let's take in another deep breath. Exhale. And another one. And let go. We are grateful for this time that we're spending together today. We are asking Source, our Creator, God, to guide us as we go through this journey, this lesson today. Putting in our mouths the right words to say, putting in our minds the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that is needed to get this lesson across. And to all those who listen in, join in, or see it later, we ask blessings on them and healing for them as well. Because for us, this is a journey to healing. With that said, we are blessed, and so it is. Okay. Well, kind of review. Remember that chakras are energy wheels. Chakra actually is the Sanskrit word for wheel, and they're energy wheels. And we're focusing mainly on the 7 major chakras, which are within this physical body. When we begin, in our last session, we began looking at and examining more closely the root chakra, which is the foundation of our lives. And when the root chakra is open and balanced, it's a lot easier for all of the other chakras to become aligned and balanced. So today we're going to look at the sacral chakra, which is the second one. It's located about 2 inches below the belly button. And understand that when we say chakras, we look at it from the perspective of the spine, but actually it is in that area of the body, because there's a front and there's a back to our bodies. And of course, the location is about 2 inches below the belly button or the navel. So think about 2 wheels, one in front and one in back, in that general area of the body, or at that level within the body.
That's a good way of looking at it. I don't think I've ever, thought of it that way, but yes, that makes perfect sense because we do have a front and a back.
Mm-hmm.
And for some odd reason, I just always saw, chakra as, I don't know, as
along the spine.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. But I never thought, well, I don't even know if I saw it along the spine. I just saw it as maybe inside.
Right.
But not necessarily, the front and the back of it and the areas that it affected. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. That's a great image.
Yeah. And like you, I kind of saw it as a line down the middle of the body. Somebody's coming in.
Yeah, this Andre. I got him.
Oh, okay.
I got him for you.
Okay. Um, and the Sanskrit, I tried to find a pronunciation for the Sanskrit word for the sacral chakra, but I was not able to find one so that I could correctly pronounce it. Hi, Andre.
Hey.
And
Hello, hello.
hi there.
How's it
But
going?
good, very good, thank you. But I couldn't find it, so maybe by the next time I'll be able to find it. But I couldn't find anything that I felt comfortable with, so that I could actually pronounce the Sanskrit name for the chakra. But the Sanskrit name actually means self-established.
They
The word
self-established.
self-established, yes. And it holds the sacred waters of light, bringing together feminine and masculine energies of passion, intimacy, and abundance. And in doing the research for this one, I came across some really interesting information. That's the way I can put it. The color for the sacral chakra is orange. And based on my research, it begins to activate somewhere between the ages of 7 and 14. And actually, with the major chakras, it takes about 7 years for each one to begin, or they begin development every 7 years. And evidently, it takes about 7 years for them to become fully developed before the next one can kind of kick in.
Now, can I ask you a question here?
Yeah, sure.
When you said developed, does that mean that it's kind of like instinctual, it develops on its own, or is it something that we have to develop, like,
I get the feeling that it is something that just happens naturally, but I think we have, like with anything that grows, we have to nurture it, water it, feed it, for it to grow. That's the impression that I get from my readings and research.
Okay, thanks.
The body parts that are affected by the sacral chakra are the hips, the pelvis, the internal sex organs, the kidney, the bladder, the intestines, and the lower back. In other words, our organs of creation and elimination, and of course, the lower back. And one of the things that I came across in doing the study, or in looking at researching this particular one, if you have pain in your lower back, it could mean that that sacral chakra is out of balance.
I'm gonna say, because I'll tell you.
Yeah. The glands that are associated with the sacral chakra are the ovaries, the testes, and the prostate. In other words, the sexual glands. The sense of taste, and I didn't quite grasp why the sense of taste is, or that's the sense that is uppermost as far as the sacral chakra is concerned. I'll just have to do a little bit more research on that. But when I saw that, I just thought it was kind of odd.
Well, that's one of because I watch a lot of cooking shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they always, one of the things that they mention is, like your food being sexy. The food is, the food is sexy.
Okay.
Either by the way that it looks or the mouth feel, how it feels in the mouth,
Mm-hmm.
how or simply by the taste of it. So I guess
So, okay.
I
No,
guess I can
that's
kind of, yeah, I guess I can kind of see that, because even when you think of the tongue, you would think, the tongue itself kind of would, is very reminiscent of a, you know,
a phallic
sexual
symbol.
organ. Yeah, they use. Let me not. Okay.
Yes.
Keep it clean. Let's keep it clean.
Oh,
Okay.
man. Yeah.
Okay, ladies, yes, let's keep it clean because y'all have me and Dante over here cutting jokes up. So
Okay.
everyone say hello. We have a guest in the house as well. So
Okay. We'll be nice.
Well,
We'll be nice. But
but okay, so you said it
no, but
was
it does
the
make
sexual
sense to me.
organs, taste, and did you say a third one? Uh-oh, are you frozen?
No, no.
Harriott,
You talk. No, I'm here. I'm okay. Are you there? Penelope? Andre, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know what happened to Penny. She
Oh.
she
Froze. She probably got logged back in or something. Muted herself.
Yeah, Penn, you muted yourself.
actually my call dropped. My internet dropped off for a minute. So were y'all still on?
huh?
Y'all still
No, we were trying to figure out what happened to you.
but y'all were still on though.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then that was good because it
Okay.
was my internet that dropped off.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And
But anyway, so my question was, so it's the sexual organs, the taste organs, I mean the taste, and did you say a third one?
no, I did not.
Oh, okay. So it was just sexual organs and the tongue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. What I said, the gland, there was 3, the ovaries, the testes, and the prostate. Is that what you were
Okay.
referring to?
No, I just put them in there on sexual organs. I thought it was
Oh,
yeah, 3
okay.
things. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And the mantra for and we'll be working with this a little bit later on. The mantra for the sacral chakra is VAM, VAM, VAM. The message that the sacral chakra brings us is I desire. And usually when we think about, and of course that is the chakra for creativity, creation. When we are diseased or illnesses or diseases that are affected by the sacral chakra, or that that we will I don't want to use the word suffer, but that we will feel the illnesses and diseases that we experience when the sacral chakra is out of balance, include infertility, low sperm counts, low egg reserves, urinary tract infections, loss of the sex drive, if you have problems with your appendix, and of course, we already mentioned lower back pain and sciatica. As I already mentioned, the function of the sacral chakra is creativity. And one of my sources I thought was really interesting, it sees the womb as the hospitable cocoon for baby's first home. And the sacral chakra also, another one of its functions is to remove toxins from the body. And notice it is the organs of elimination that are included in that part of the body that are affected by the balance or imbalance of the excuse me, sacral chakra. The archetypes, a creator. He's an artist, an alchemist. He manifests, the archetype manifests abundance, abolishes lack. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, the womb, which holds you in its warmth and comforting love. The well-balanced personality or the well-balanced personality, the well-balanced sacral chakra personality. They have high emotional intelligence. They're empathetic. They're aware of sensitivity. Excuse me. Aware of the sensitivities of others. The feminine and masculine energies are balanced. They're usually very nurturing. They're instinctual. In other words, they can pick up on things easily when they're around people. They can tell, even though the person that they're talking might say, "I'm fine, I'm doing okay." They are the ones that are able to instinctively know that even though your lips say okay, I feel something is wrong here, kind of thing. They're also devoted, loving, they're charming, they're self-reliant, and enthusiastic, life of the party type. When the sacral chakra is underactive or slow, the emotions or expressions may be withheld. In other words, they kind of withdraw as opposed to letting go and letting things just kind of flow and happen. They hold on to whatever might be bothering them. They're prone to feelings of denial or lack intimate bonds. They don't want to be bothered with anybody, like keep away from me, stay away from me kind of thing. And they have a low or non-existent sex drive. The individual feels stifled creatively. And they also have feelings of inadequacy and insecurity. And the person lacks confidence. Any questions or comments so far?
Well,
Good job.
I got all of them.
Good job. Good job.
I got all of them, all of the negative ones. I said I have all of the negative ones. It's
Good job.
that when you were
Good job.
mentioning the things about the diseases of the sacral chakra, but and I guess that there's some ways that we do need to re-energize, especially things when we're thinking about our creativity or our creative process, because if we are going to allow creation to live and shine through us, we have to be open. We have to be open and healed,
Right.
And prepared for that, and not to allow so much of our own egos or personalities to become too involved in it, so that, you know, it either, you know, builds us up to arrogance or shuts us down, you know, to, you know, where we have more loss of confidence. So I think that that's a good way to look at it. But maybe, I mean, so maybe wearing that color orange.
Wearing orange. And I have some affirmations that I'm going to share to help with that healing process.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, for me, I have found on YouTube, they have all you just Google or search for chakras on YouTube, and there are several sounds or like 3, 8, 11 hours of sound vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And I have found that when I use them, and with the longer ones, the 3, 8, and 11 hour ones, I usually do the 3-hour ones, but they will devote or 3+ hours, I should say, because they devote about a half an hour to each one of the chakras, and it's the vibration, and it all depends on, you know, what you're in the mood for, what sound, you know, you feel more comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, go to YouTube and if you have headphones that don't require you to plug it into whatever it is you're listening to, it's better to use the headphones, because it kind of focuses the sound, you know, within the brain wave, within the brain, and the vibrations kind of you feel the vibration more, I think, when you do with the headphones, as opposed to just turning the sound on while you're busy doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
But I find if I'm sitting reading or on the computer, I turn it on, and that to me is healing. And then of course, aromas, gemstones, you know, whatever it takes to help, you know, with that healing process, or ridding yourself of whatever diseases you might have. But I find that using the sound waves helps me quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel refreshed after I've done, you know, those sound waves. We talked about the any other questions or comments? Okay, well, we talked about the underactive. Now, if your chakra, your sacral chakra is overactive, you're going to feel emotionally unstable, out of control. And that's where I am today. Overwhelmed, severe mood swings, you're indecisive, inconsistent, domineering. Others see you as insincere and superficial. In other words, phony. Overt self-indulgence. The person is an exhibitionist, if they tend to be an exhibitionist, aggressive, arrogant, manic, and obsessive. Are things, characteristics that will be displayed if you have an overactive sacral chakra. And of course, if it's balanced, there's a feeling of pleasantness, of feeling present, feeling here, being in the here and now. You feel comfortable enough to reach out and establish strong relationships or deep relationships where you and I think that to me, I interpret that as feeling comfortable in sharing some of your deepest, darkest secrets with someone that you care about, someone that you trust. And of course, when you're in that, when you have that kind of feeling, the aura around you will it's almost like a magnet, I would say, that will draw people to you, because people will come to you, and I mean, total strangers might share some of their deepest, darkest secrets with you as well. And that's when that sacral chakra is in balance. Any questions or comments there? Did I mention the element that is associated with the sacral chakra?
No, you didn't mention the element, or I know you did, and you briefly mentioned gemstones, and there was something else that like essential
Herbs and
yes,
aroma.
right.
Part of the aromatherapy. Yeah. Well, the element for the sacral chakra is water. And I found it very interesting because in looking at the deities that are associated with the sacral chakra, Lakshmi, the Hindu goddess of prosperity, purpose, and good fortune. Mary Magdalene, an ascended master, a disciple of the goddess Isis. Yamanya and Oshun are Yoruba goddesses or Orishas, and they're deities of ocean and river. Yamanya is the ocean, and of course, Oshun is the goddess of the river. So, water. And they represent eternal nourishment, prosperity, fertility, and healing. The Incan goddess of water is Mama Kocha. I think it's how it's pronounced. Kocha is how it's spelled.
And who is that?
Mama, M-A-M-A, Mama. Kocha. Kocha.
And where is this? What religion is this?
Incan.
Incan. Okay.
And then, of course, and remember I mentioned earlier that the sacral chakra brings together feminine and masculine energies of passion, intimacy, and abundance. The Greek god Poseidon, the Roman god Neptune, and the Vedic god Varuna, water gods representing the masculine aspect. And I came across three other gods that I wanted to share. I didn't get the chance to put them in my notes, but Rati, the Hindu goddess of love, lust, and physical desire, as well as sexual intercourse and the physical union of divine masculine and divine feminine. And that's R-A-T-I, Rati. Ishtar is the Mesopotamian goddess of desire. And the last one is Bastet, B-A-S-T-E-T. And Bastet is the daughter of the sun god Ra, and she's Egyptian. And she is the supreme goddess of pleasure. And of course, she's shown as with a cat face. You can see that.
Oh, okay. I've seen her before.
Yeah. And those are the deities or gods and goddesses that are associated with the sacral chakra.
Well, can I just point out one thing, even throughout the history? Thanks for that. Some of them I knew, some of them I did not know. It seems to, but the way that you just broke it down from feminine to masculine, it seems that purity of water, of what we've been speaking about is pretty much more, even if you look at it in a God's a way of the gods, it seems like water belongs to the feminine energy more than the masculine.
But I have always associated Neptune and Poseidon with water.
Me, that's, yeah, and that, like I said, some I knew, some I didn't. I knew the masculine, but it was far more feminine.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so you know, is that one that we just kind of solved to say, well, wait a minute, you know, water is the purity for feminine energy, because it was definitely more female goddesses than male goddesses. Not putting one against the other, but it just seemed that the protection of the water seemed to come from a female point of view.
Right. Well, and remember some of those female goddesses that were mentioned, they were not necessarily associated with water. They were associated more with the idea of creativity and sexuality, as opposed to water.
Oh, we want that wet too.
I didn't want to
keep it low, y'all. I'm keeping it low.
Yeah, because y'all mentioned Oshun and water, and I do know that like some of these they are fertilization. So therefore when it comes to being they would pray for these goddesses for, you know, new crops and things like that. So I'm like, well, for you to have that is you need water.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
I was gonna say I've actually always been I've actually always heard that water is more feminine and earth is masculine.
More masculine.
Yeah. You know, both has its own power, both has its own subtleties, both has its own
and their purpose and their own
purposes. Yeah. But I have always heard that femininity, water is feminine, and I've always thought it was kind of interesting when we look at our creation story biblically. One of the first things is water. First things that is mentioned is water. How, you know, life basically.
Yeah, and separated the water from the firmament.
Yeah, and life came from water. you know.
Right.
You know, when we think about and I think that's one of the things that why the study of different religions and different philosophies
It's important.
is important, yeah, because we're not stuck with one point of view. Is that
Exactly.
everything, everything is masculine, so like for, and I hate to pick on Christians, but that's the only religion that I have really been brought up with and around. It's such a masculine religion. Everything is everything. Jesus is the dude. God is the dude. The Holy Spirit is the dude. So where are all these babies coming from?
Really?
And that's another thing that I've always on. But they're so against homosexuality, but everything is male. So but if we will open ourselves up to different philosophies and different way of understanding not only just terminology, because terminology is important, but the different forms of energy. Because when we think of water, we do think of water as being receptive. Water is very receptive, and femininity, females are receptive. Masculinity, masculinity is, it has its firmness, it has its power, and it has its strength in the solidity of it, and the way that is. So if I think that's where, because we don't look at it figuratively enough, that we often have become, stifled and lost, kind of lost on the path, so that now everything has to be, it has to only look this way for it to be real.
May I say something?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't look at water like it's neither masculine nor feminine. It has
how you see it.
It's a balance to it, because in its different forms it takes its different, like in liquid form it can form to anything. It can fit in any space. It can, it could be nurturing to anything. But in the masculine, it's less energy. Well, not saying less energy, but the energies is stable. They're firm. It's ice. And then when it's when it get too hot, it turns gas. Now it's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Is you can't, and
bottle it up.
Yeah, you can't. You probably bottle it up, but I'm just saying it's just like it's free now, And then when you got the water, if you pressurize water hard enough, it can cut through. It can cut through anything. It can cut through diamond.
Exactly.
I mean, that don't sound like a woman to me.
It's water that has carved out the caves that we.
That don't sound like the three pieces of a woman to me.
What'd you say?
Silky.
You said that sound like a woman. Them all three kinds of women: cold, hot, and kill.
Get my hands on it.
And gas.
Or ice, just if that don't sound like a woman to me, and that can control and that's what controls the world. That's a woman.
That's why I say it's not. That's why I don't look at it as a male or female type thing. It's because we all come from water.
Right.
If you pressurize anybody too much, it's dangerous. We come cold, we come stagnant. We, what I'm saying, we're like ice, and but if we learn to be like water, like what Bruce Lee learned to be like water. You can form to any situation. So, but the thing is water is one of them elements. Like it's I feel like that's why, I don't know, but maybe I'm going off on a tip, but that's why aliens want this planet, because they know we got that wall. They want that wall. They know we got that wall.
And two, when we come to this earth, from our mother's womb, we are either we come in the form of a female or a male body. Now, what happens as we develop, that's another story. But what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter whether you're male, female, or you are transgender. You have a feminine side and you have a masculine side.
True indeed.
Mm-hmm. And this is one of the things that I think that that's why I think that it's really interesting how each philosophy really does interlock. If we would study not only just what ours says, but what somebody else's say, like we're looking at the chakras today, and we're looking at it from the point of creation, whether it's intellectual creation, emotional creation, physical creation. We're looking at it from that aspect. And when we're seeing when things are in balance, the world is a better, happier place. You know, and when things are things are out of balance, look at how miscreation is prevalent. You know, we're so, you know, so it's
chaos.
Yeah, it's really beneficial, I think, for us to just even just to have a glossary knowledge of somebody else's stuff.
And I agree 100%. I agree 1,000%.
Were you gonna talk about, did you say about the herbs and the gemstones?
Yeah. Yeah, we can move on to that. Did I mention the planets that are
No,
associated? Okay.
No, we were just on element with the water.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize how much material I had, and I was trying to take notes, and I'm trying to get it all together. But there is just so much information out there to talk about. But the planets include the moon, and again, what does the moon affect? Water, the tides, the high and low tide, and depending on the phase of the moon, the tides or water can be very, very destructive. And if it comes, say, and Andre might know a little bit more about this than me, but it seems as though a full moon, when the water is full of energy, it is more destructive during a full moon than it is, say, during a new moon. I haven't, really researched it, but I'm just saying that based on my own, observations of how things go at certain times and what's going on as far as the weather and the phases of the moon is concerned. Andre, do you have any comments on that?
I was listening, and I just got in a fight with a wasp. So
Sorry about that.
I was definitely listening. And yes, when it comes to the moon, it does affect the water. It also, and as what you were saying with the full moon or any state of the moon, our animals of the oceans mate. Life is being created every time the moon, makes a phase. Every animal knows what to do, when to do it, where to do it, and how to do it. And that is making that, and that is creating, and it has to be a certain time, a certain temperature when it comes to just, oceanic creatures. as far as creation when it comes to mankind, we know the myth of a full moon makes everyone a little bit more wilder, or they say crime goes up and things like that. Usually it's not like that. Usually people are a lot more docile once they can feel that moon. Once they see that big thing, it's almost hypnotic if you catch a full moon at a certain point in time. It's almost hypnotic if you're just being yourself at that point in time. If it's been a hell of a month and it's finally a full moon and you see it, yeah, I'm pretty sure you pissed off too, because you're ready to go to sleep. So things, it all depends on the person and how you recognize the signs of certain things. So if you, I think these things do play a part in our anatomy and the way that our bodies move, and definitely linking that with the chakras, it does make a lot of sense to me, because like I say, one thing I do say is we are these terrestrial beings on this planet. We do have these bodies. So we have to move the way that time and certain things, the way that gravity moves, for lack of a better word, the way that gravity moves. Our bodies are mostly water in the first place. Of course, when the moon moves, our minds are going to shift to a certain point of view, if you think that way. So it just depends on however you look at it. I hope I answered your question, and I'm gonna go ahead and stop because I want to kill this wall.
Yes, you did. Because like I said, what this has done for me personally is given me the motivation, I guess you could say, or the desire to begin to pay more attention to what's going on in the heavens or in the stars, in the sky, whatever. Because we are all a part of the universe, and what affects one part of the universe affects the whole universe. It's just like you take a stone, you throw it in the water, and you throw it, it can be just a small pebble, but it causes ripples in the water, and those ripples will spread out. And sometimes you throw it out into the middle, and it could be quite a distance away, but you will feel the waves or the ripples in the water, or see them if you don't feel them. From just that simple stone. Let's see. I mentioned gemstones, and gemstones connected with the sacral chakra include carnelian, and it's the gemstone version of caffeine, giving a turbo boost of energy to help you stimulate creativity rather, and complete even the most arduous of tasks. Goldstone contains natural copper and supports healthy circulation. Imperial topaz, one of the rarest of all topaz colors, is a deep orange, and it's a talisman of strength and power. Orange calcite, I think that's how it's pronounced, calcite, is said to help with erectile dysfunction and sexual performance issues. Peach moonstone harnesses the creative powers of the moon phases. Sunstone, leadership stone for politicians, teachers, and managers of all kinds. It activates the fire within, helping you to connect to untapped potential and enthusiasm. And last one, tangerine quartz. It boosts the sex drive and brings sexy thoughts to mind. Okay.
Can you repeat that last bit, Harriott? I didn't hear what you said.
What the tangerine quartz
Yes.
boosts the sex drive and brings sexy thoughts to mind.
Tangerine what?
Tangerine quartz,
Tangerine
Q-U-A-R-T.
quartz.
Yeah.
Okay. I never even heard of that before.
Here's a new one.
Interesting.
The sacral chakra herbs and essential oils include ginger, creating a stronger flow of chi through the reproductive organs. Cinnamon cassia, C-A-S-S-I-A, boosts metabolism and purifies the system. And they mentioned blood orange, and I'm thinking they're talking about the actual, I'm not familiar with it being a herb or a spice. So they're probably talking about a blood orange. I didn't see anything to tell me anything different. And it brings welcome energies of joy, prosperity, and power. And then, of course, the tangerine reconnects you with the inner child, making you more playful, happy, and carefree. And vanilla is the queen of the orchid family. Oh, I didn't realize that. The orchid family. And it brings you a sense of sweet benevolence. And of course, fennel, which eases digestive troubles while at the same time enhancing the memory. Any questions or comments on those?
No, not for me. Thank you.
Okay. And Penelope, this is where you can kind of help me with this. One of my sources talks about the chakras being associated with the tarot cards, and each chakra is associated with a tarot card. I don't know if we got around to it when we did the root chakra, but with the root chakra, the tarot card is the world. That's the tarot card that's associated with the root chakra.
Mm-hmm.
And
who's the chakra for the sacral chakra? Yeah.
The Empress.
The Empress. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking that because she's already pregnant.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
she's already pregnant. Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
And my source of the Empress, the mother of the major arcana, pregnant with life and possibility, seated in her velvet sofa of beauty. Seated in her velvet robe of beauty and authentic magic, she represents luxury and manifestation. She's also the only figure in the major arcana who is carrying a child. In this way, she seems to represent both motherhood as well as the capacity to birth other energies, such as new projects. She is the embodiment of creative potential, correct? Connect with the Empress to express more of your maternal or creative power as well as your divine beauty.
Cool.
Any
Super cool.
any comments there?
Now, when you just think about all of the how these are already going throughout different modalities, you know, so that culture embraces information and likeness through other, through other modalities. You know, we talk about tarot, we talk about gemstones. So I think that shows how connected the spirituality is, throughout the world, period. I mean, because you can see how it connects with somebody else's, ideas and the ways that you can stay healthier.
Exactly.
Exactly. For good. It's not for necessarily.
It's not a temporary thing. A temporary fix, a Band-Aid.
Right, and it's not only for financial or some type of gain. It's for
freedom and
healing.
well-being.
It's for healing. Yeah. Audra, you were about to say something. I think I cut you off. Can you want to go ahead and say what you were about to say?
Oh no, I was just more or less listening and just wanted to say, that was the same thing that you said. It was a good job how everything seems to tie together, and it seems to tie together on every aspect that we talk about, on a weekly basis. We can see that niching, that stitching of the way that web, of how the web is being put together. So it's once again, it's good to have like-minded people again. So thank you all, because I'm thinking the same way. So
yeah, it's just great to have like-minded people to be able to discuss these things with, and we give each other a clearer understanding of our thoughts and the things that we're looking at, the things that we're studying. I just love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And thank you, Penelope, for bringing us together.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I see here is like, even, if you're having some type of issues in your body, like, I have, sciatic problems with that nerve, and I have, so I have some lower back pain. So now that I'm, when you combine all of these things together for healing, I can start to pay attention not only to the things that the doctors are sharing, but let me, strengthen and put my chakras in balance as well. Let me pay attention to, the energies that I'm surrounding myself with, or I'm bringing in, or that I need to bring in,
Right.
Because
Right.
when I think about it, I I like orange. I mean, orange is one of my favorite colors, but I very seldom wear orange. I very seldom, just eat orange foods. I very seldom, so it's something that I can see how I can make adjustments in my life just to see if it's gonna make my back feel better.
Exactly. And you just brought something to mind for me. When I first began my research, I was doing a lot. It was more from information that I was finding on the internet but my library has grown over time because I have been drawn to certain books and authors and, just the subject matter. But when I first began the study, one of the things, and I found it on the internet, but I haven't been able to find it again. It talks about the kind of food that we eat. And it talks about with the sacral chakra, the color is orange, and they listed a whole bunch of foods and oranges, carrots, orange peppers, anything that has the color orange, any food that has the color orange, should be included in the diet. And I think what happens is with a lot of these foods like that, we don't have to eat them every day, because if we did, we wouldn't be able to move because we'd be so heavy. But taking those foods and balancing them out as far as the colors, the textures, and all is concerned, it just helps us to, and if we pay attention to our diets and, what we do eat, it helps. It helps us as far as healing is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And you just reminded me of that. And like I said, I found it on the internet and I haven't been able to find it since then.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Let's see, what was the next item on the agenda? We talked about, yeah. Yeah, I think that's most of what I said, what I was able to find. Right now, what I want to do is, we talked about things that will help us to keep the, or to get and keep the sacral chakra in balance. And there are affirmations that we can repeat throughout the day, or when something seems to pluck our nerves.
Mm-hmm.
And of those affirmations, it said, the first one said, I accept the flow of life. And what I'm saying there is, try not to let things disturb you. Things happen. Take them as a lesson. And this is where the Course in Miracles kind of comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
It's, learning to look at things from the perspective of, okay, what is my lesson here? What am I to learn here? And we get it not only from the Course in Miracles, but in our Bible studies as Christians. We're told throughout the Bible that let the storms serve as lessons and not get all dramatic and, let them control us, let us be in control of the situation more so. The next affirmation, I use my energy for creative expression. Now, if anybody has any comments or Want to
I
make
use my energy for creative experience, for
Ex-
creative
ex-
expressions.
expression, yeah. I am free to express my emotions in a healthy way. And that healthy way can mean anger. It can be annoyance. It can be joy. It can be happiness. It can be all of those. As long as it's healthy and not destructive.
Mhm.
I honor my sensual expression. In other words, if I feel sexy, pay attention to it.
I honor my sensual
Sensual
expression.
expression. Mhm.
Expression.
Or it can be the taste. It can be
Mhm.
the smell.
Mhm. Yeah, because when you think about it, especially in our nation where it's so everything is so topsy-turvy, we're told that we got to look sexy, but
Mhm.
then we're told that we can't, we can look sexy, but we can't have sex, because if we're having too much sex, then we're bad people. And
Mhm.
if you look at this thing, then that's a bad thing. But if you look at this thing, then this is a good thing. So we have so much. I think what's the so much fear, because if you're not
Superstition.
one thing and you're not another thing, then what's your thing?
Mhm.
Because I was just thinking that because I'm 65, and I was talking to some lady friends not too long ago, and everybody was talking about how young they look or how young somebody looks, and what's wrong with looking 65?
Really?
What's wrong? Why are we so
Obsessed
caught
with.
up? Yeah, caught up that first of all, that our looks and sexuality have to do with the same thing. I can be a sexual person whether I'm attracted, whether you think I'm attractive or not.
That's right.
Or just because I'm attractive, it doesn't mean that I'm a sexual person. So I think that that's a place where we have so much opportunity for judgment. And if
Mhm.
we can pull ourselves back away from that, from not honoring our sensual expression, because I think that that's probably what the world has to do, is that we don't really honor sensual expression. We are I don't know, exploiting sensual expression more so than we are honoring it.
And
So
I
that was,
and I think you're right there, because look at how not so much now as in the past, but when things were advertised, a woman, and I'm thinking about a car, ad for a car, something that men like, but what do they usually show the car with, especially if it was a picture, an illustration? There's a car and there's this woman either standing beside it in a sexy pose or laying across it in a sexy pose. In other words, an invitation to sex was a part of the overall picture of trying to sell this car.
mm-hmm,
You know,
mm-hmm,
um, And to me, that's exploiting as opposed to
Honoring.
honoring.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. So that's, that's a good affirmation to, just to understand that, yeah, I can honor my sensual self, my senses.
Mhm.
I can honor my senses
Exactly.
without judging somebody else or feeling judgment myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay, next one. I am an empowered sexual being.
I am an empowered. And this is another thing that, this kind of, puts us on that same kind of thing. And yesterday, Hope and I, my daughter, we were watching the videos, watching, some of today's videos. And one of the things that I was impressed with is that all the girls had on clothes. They had on track suits and boots and, they had on clothes.
They were covered up.
Yeah, but for so long, even in the videos, the men, they had on parkas and big boots and pants and shirts and everything else, and the girls were naked. They
Literally.
or either they were naked with high heels and sunglasses. But so now that I'm seeing that women are, especially this younger generation, they are seeming to be more in tune with their emotional self, because they're understanding that it's the emotional thing, it's the emotional mind that gives you the best sexual pleasure. It's not necessarily what you look like. I mean, that might help in the beginning on day one, but on day 575,000, you're not paying that. You shouldn't be paying that much attention to what I look like. You should be, you know, our real sexual experience should be one of the mind. And so this is what I'm seeing, that some of the, from that video, that's what I got from that video. And I thought it was great. I said, because it wasn't even that long ago. And then, and two videos after that, you saw the girl with no clothes on again, I mean, literally, it was two women with no clothes on, I don't know what that was about, but because I don't know what the song was, but
you were watching music videos.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we're watching music videos. Oh yeah, because I guess it could be any kind of video. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No, it was music videos, and then I guess, and these are the newest I guess they rappers, because some of them, they were singing and rapping at the same time. So I don't know what that is. I guess hip hop. I guess.
No, don't throw us in there.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know, because I don't know the genres. I really don't, honestly. I don't know what hip hop is. I don't know.
No, I'm teasing, Pendo.
Yeah.
From the male point of view, yeah, definitely from that.
But I did, but
I'm listening.
Because that's what I was saying. I thought that's, to me, that shows more growth. And it's growth for the women, and it's growth for the men too, because I'm sure that, I got two guys right here. I'm sure that, y'all don't want to just, it's not always for the looks. What some woman looks like is the thing that makes you, attracted to that person. It's not always that. I mean, because y'all got to be just like women, because I mean, you might look good, but if I talk to you for 5 minutes and you have already said 500 stupid things, you're no longer attractive to me.
Exactly.
Yeah. But once again, it kind of also, I think, for men and women, it does take experience, and I don't mean and I don't mean sexual experience. I'm not saying that you have to have multiple partners or this, that, and the fifth, but you have to be able to engage the opposite sex, in a certain way and in a certain manner. Every woman can't talk to every man the same way. Every man cannot talk to a woman the same way. And every conversation that men have, sometimes women should not be around, and vice versa. That's just the way that it goes, because it is opposite. I'm not saying that we are not internally the same, but certain ways are different. It's just different, and that's what makes us complement each other, and that is the perfect attraction, when you find something that is opposite from you versus something that is you. That's what attraction is. So it kind of boils down to that point of view. Yeah, as far as an emotional point of view, yeah, after a while, the way that you look can, does not matter anymore. I mean, come on, hell, even Halle Berry, which we know is one of the most beautiful women in the world, can't keep a man. You know what I'm saying? Something, there's somebody, you come with baggage, no matter who, what, when, where, and how you are. And it just depends on where you find yourself and how you want to define yourself and who you see to be fit for you. So, so all those things really play a part into it. Once again, I have to go back. We're animals on this planet, and we choose the same way that animals choose. You don't, a lioness don't choose the second best. She don't settle. Birds don't, when the birds start dancing and they doing their dance trying to mate, they pulling out. The fellas is pulling out, they dancing hard. The female doesn't go, I'm going for the second one. There's no second runners up. So that's kind of it does go out of the window, but we're bombarded with sex constantly.
Yeah.
That's true.
We're bombarded. Yes, it is a part of life, but we're bombarded with sex or attraction, constantly.
And I think that's why this is. That's why I think that this affirmation that you gave us is a really good one, Harriott, because when we're seeing ourselves, because I wrote down, I am an empowered sexual individual. Was that what it was?
Being individual, either one.
Yeah, because when I'm seeing myself as sexually empowered, then that gives me more, I don't know, options, because I don't, I know I'm not desperate, so I'm not out here, looking for anything. I know that I'm not accepting anything, and but also it allows that what's that, like a magnet draws you. A magnet will draw you to the same thing. So I'm already, so if I'm feeling sexually empowered emotionally, physically, mentally, all of these things, that that's what I'm gonna attract. I'm gonna attract somebody that has that same, that's on that same plane, that's on that same level, So, and I think that this is, when we say these affirmations and we begin to believe them about ourselves, then we're going to put ourselves equal to that other thing that is out there, that is like us,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Nah, I was just thinking that, like, it kind of just going back to like the chakras, and I was thinking about, like, if you got, your the chakra, the sacral chakra, that's at the bottom, right? That's the base, right?
No,
Well,
that's the second
up
one
from the
up.
base.
The
Mhm.
second
base
one
is
up.
the
Okay,
root
okay,
chakra.
well, okay, all right. Well, you got your the sexuality. If that's kind of out of whack, it's the relationships that you build upon that. Because it starts out with the sexual, and then it kind of goes up into your, to the crown, to where like if you really attracted, they hitting on all levels. To me, anyway, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And as they say, as above, so below. So like that's kind of like the foundation of it. That's supposed to start it, but that's not the all in all and all the be all to
Mhm.
a relationship.
Mhm.
So they say as above, so below. So like at the top, if we ain't got our mind right, you ain't gonna have a sexual experience that you want to have.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like a balance when you got to find that balance. And that's just my thoughts as y'all was speaking and going through all that. I was just thinking like it's like a dance to this, and I gotta get in step with myself
Mm-hmm.
so I can give something that that I have. If I don't got it, then I can't give it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's and this is one of the things. And although I, for many years I've always heard about chakras, I've always known these, and I've always known these different things, but I haven't always been applying the knowledge specifically to the issue. Now that I'm understanding how the chakras, I have a rudimentary understanding of at least how the chakras are working, but I'm applying the knowledge to it also. So I just don't know it. I'm trying to live it as well. And I do, and I can't say that I am finding some things more rewarding in my life. I do. I have a different spiritual awareness. Most of my conversations have to do with things that have, that what we're talking about. And a lot of times I don't want people just showing up to me. I haven't even said anything, and they will ask me, what do you think about the chakras or something like that? And wow, where did that come from? So it's gotta be that I am, a part of the vibration,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. And the last affirmation, my creativity flows effortlessly. Should I repeat that?
Please.
My creativity flows effortlessly. And that's one that I need to be repeating all day today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another good one too, because if we haven't or if we haven't allowed ourselves to be as creative as we need to be, because sometimes some things that we have a creative expression for doesn't necessarily pan out. And so that can lead to kind of like a little stoppage or a little kink, because oh no, that one didn't work out, so now it seems like my creativity level is lessening. But so if I'm keeping in my mind and allowing that creative energies to keep spinning, that is in that sacral chakra, so that will keep that those ideas constantly flowing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly. Now, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, the vibration or the sound for or mantra for the sacral chakra is V, A, V as in Victor, A, M as in mouse, Victor Mouse. And if I can get this, oh, it's
Mhm.
not there.
You go to your share screen first.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Mhm.
Oh, wait, no,
And you just
wait.
got put. You just yeah, make your page prominent. Yeah, yeah. Click on your page. Yeah,
Oh, there it is. There it
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna move this in a little bit because got to deal with this.
The commercial.
Yeah.
Are you looking to change your mood? Well, these are full spectrum infused gummies from Hello Mood. I've been trying mood products for about a month.
How long are we doing this for?
For 5 minutes.
Okay.
Do you have your thing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because
Okay.
Razion has his own phone, so I'm allowed to have mine now.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, give me a second to get it together.
Okay.
Okay. Just tell me when to start and I'm ready.
You ready?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
It's buffering. So when it starts to move.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Well, I haven't started yet, so
Mhm.
you might have to cancel it out and see if it will come back on.
If you're looking for a smooth, euphoric experience that's just easy
Okay.
and convenient, check this out. This is the Mood Live Resin.
Okay, you ready now?
Yeah, you can
Okay.
start it.
5 minutes.
Uh-oh.
That was a fast 5 minutes too.
It was. So-
I really enjoyed that it sounds I know I'm gonna find it again. But you know, in the beginning, it mostly affected like my heart chakra
Mhm.
and
Oh,
and then the solar plexus and then the sacral. So it was so I can really see the connection. I had a connection with my heart chakra. So those things do balance out, you know,
yeah,
your
they
heart
do.
chakra and your sacral chakra balances out because you know that's basic. You got to have your heart has to be into any creative process.
Exactly. And the heart, um, if you're looking at the major chakras, which is 7, the heart, I saw, and when I thought about it, I said, yeah, that makes sense. But the heart is like the bridge between the physical and the spiritual. The root, the sacral, and the solar plexus are all physical. And then when you get to the throat, the third eye, and the crown, you're looking at the spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
And the heart serves as a bridge between the two. And the heart is I think, perhaps the key one as far as emotion is concerned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
And what is this powerful sacral chakra? Okay. I'm gonna write that down
Oh.
so I can find it later.
No.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
is that it?
Yeah, that's it for today. So we can begin our roundtable.
Yeah, sure.
And
Well, I can go first. Oh,
okay,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Andre. Andre,
Hey,
you can go.
yeah, we're listening. Definitely what I learned today that, you know, it is that creation is at the root core damn near of us all.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so close and such a part of us, whether we are creating or, as you were saying, in our physical bodies, Miss Harriott, that we are pushing out the negative with these same body parts and same organs, and that we use our tongue not only just to speak but also to learn and to experience. So I'm going to definitely pay attention to that to see how those attractions work with me and what I am attracted to through those energies.
Mhm.
Say, how about you?
I would say kind of got from it a sense of like being in touch with like I've been on that sacral chakra. That's just been the rule of my thoughts over this conversation and how it all ties in together. And like just being aware of how it affects me every day, actually every moment when I, you know, what depending on what I'm, you know, going through or what I'm thinking or whatever the case may be, and how other people may influence that or I may influence that on other people.
Mhm.
And that's kind of where I'm at with it, with what I got from it.
Very good.
Thank you. Well, for myself, one of the things, you know, that I'm really so impressed with how we are studying these different philosophies. We're taking our time under, you know, so that we're, you know, we're not rushing through it. You know, nothing has to be done in a day. You know, we can ask questions, we can be silly, we can be serious, and I really appreciate that. What I basically got from this session today is when I'm using, when I'm, you know, the back and the front is the same thing, you know, but it just has, the energies are not really different, but they appear to be different. I mean, like, you know, the heads and the tails of a coin, they still have the same value. They just appear to be different. And when you're looking at the chakras and you're seeing the balance of both sides, and okay, if my back is out of balance, which it is, what's causing it in the front? What's happening to the front? You know, so and I'm understanding how to put that chakra into balance along with everything else that I'm doing along with my in my life, because you know, pain is pain is real. You know,
Yes,
you
it
know, when you're in some type of pain, it, you know, it really affects the way you think, the way you move, the way you act, the things you do or don't do. You know, it affects, you know, it really has a major thing on your energy. So this is what I'm seeing, is that if I'm going to use this sacral energy to boost my energy, to and through creative ways, and if I balance this, because that's where I have the most pain at, is in my back. If I can balance that energy, you know, I believe that's where the healing is going to come from. So this was a really, really good session for me today. I'm going to get some of these. I'm going to get these herbs. I'm going to get me some carnelian. I'm going to, you know, have some blood orange powder. I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do it all. I'm going to find me a prison orange jumpsuit.
Look out. Oh.
So thank you so much for the day. It was really good. So what's your takeaway, Harriott?
Well, like I said, I just felt like out of sorts when we first came together. And for me, the whole session, just being able to sit down and review, you know, the things that I had gone over before and discussing it with you all has helped me to, well, it just grounded me. This whole session, it helped, it has grounded me, and I don't feel as out of sorts as I did just before we started. So thank you all for helping me to heal, so to speak. And it's been a great session. I have enjoyed our conversation, and I've learned from it, as well as I hope you've learned from me.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it's one of, you know, we didn't go down too many rabbit holes, just one or two.
No, we did good today.
I think we did good today. Yeah. We did real good. We didn't go down too many rabbit holes. So let's see, tomorrow is Mother's Day. So we really didn't decide what we wanted to do, whether we wanted to meet. I don't have anything to do. I'm gonna be here at the house. So it doesn't matter to me if we want to do something, if we come in, we can, have we can have open discussion. We can talk about mothers. We can talk about, life. I don't know. It's,
Okay.
or we can, not
Take the
Well,
day off.
show up next week. Mhm.
well, I'll be in the area tomorrow. I'm sorry, Tay. I'll be in the area tomorrow, Penn. So I'll probably drop by and see you sometime around that time tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the answer is, so we're gonna take tomorrow off then?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, we take tomorrow off then. That's fantastic. Okay, cool. So then we have on Wednesdays, we have Course in Miracles. That's from 5 to 6:30. Thursday, we have 11 a.m. with Forrest. We're doing I Am with that. And then at 7 p.m., 7 to 8:30 p.m., we have the book reading of the Book of Longings with Reverend Sakina. And let's see, next Saturday is
The
Andre.
third.
Yeah, that's the Thursday. Is Andre, are we doing
Book of Enoch.
the Book of Enoch, or
Actually, I'm gonna get back with you because I just got a new book, and I just got the Book of Jasher. So I just want to know, you all let me know if y'all want to continue to kind of delve into Enoch together, or would you like to just go on, do something new?
okay, well,
That I leave it up to Andre.
were we finished the that section of we were finished with that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, well then it's up to you then, whatever you want to do.
Okay. I'll talk to you about that tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, we can figure it out. We can figure out something. Okay, that sounds good. Yay, new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's so exciting about this group. We're always
Yeah, it
delving into something new to
Yeah.
expand our.
Yeah. And some, like some things I have heard, I've never been into Egyptology or most of the things from Africa, to be honest. As Black Power as I am, I really have not delved that much into anything from Africa. So, so just understanding that culture, those religions, that's kind of, that's kind of interesting too, so cool.
And Ethiopia and Egypt are all on the continent of Africa, although
Right.
society tries to disassociate.
Yeah. That's the thing. They don't want they don't.
Yeah, they're into Egyptology, but they don't want to acknowledge that it's an African country.
But the Egyptians, they saying that they're not in Africa. That's what Egypt is saying.
They put themselves in the Middle East.
Yeah, they're in the Middle East.
Yeah, no, they right. They right. They doing exactly what they ain't black. They did not build that. They are absolutely 100% right. They did not build that. They just so happens ended up with it. And still don't know how to turn it on.
That's funny. But okay, so that's what that's where we are right now. And I don't have my calendar. I was only going by what I knew in my mind, what I could remember.
And what next Sunday will be the third Sunday. So that's Science of Mind, isn't it?
The third Sunday, that's when, that's a Science of Mind, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So so that'd be super cool. And so that's it for our schedule. We're gonna reschedule our Tarot Expo. I'm so sorry I missed it. I'm so sorry that I wasn't feeling good. But I can't wait to reschedule and do that. And now that I have a different idea in mind, it can even be bigger and better.
Great.
It can be bigger and better, so I can start it off right. So but that's pretty much it for today's session, everybody.
Don't forget, subscribe, like, and comment on our YouTube page.
Yes,
which is inner haven. And if the inner haven, that is the green circle with a white letter I in the middle.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So would anyone like to close us out in prayer? How about you, Andre's friend? What's your name again? Tay?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Tay, yeah, Dante.
Yeah, would you like to close us out in prayer?
Sure.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Gracious universe, I want to thank you for the time that we share together. I want to thank you for all the information that was here, that was shared. I want to thank you for just the opportunity to grow and expand and broaden our mind. I want to speak blessings, peace to each and every individual under my voice. I also want to extend mercies to ourselves and our flaws, and we thank you for our trials and our tribulations daily as we seek to overcome the negatives that are in our lives. With that, I want to say thank you for sharing this experience with us in this life. And with that, I close.
And so it is.
And
Thank
so it
you.
is.
Thank you so much. That was
Thank you.
beautiful. Thank you. You please.
Yes.
I'm so glad you came back. Join us again.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Anytime. Anytime. Andre will keep, give you our schedule and 1,000 different.
Yeah, he keeps me posted. I check in on him. When he's hibernating, I know where his cave at, so I can go. I could put a doggy treat at the entrance, and he pops out every once in a while.
Absolutely
He
snack.
keeps me informed. So I did subscribe to the in the Haven page. So
Oh, thank you.
there's no problem. So
Thank you.
yeah.
All righty. Well, then that's it for today, everybody. You all have a wonderful day and love you so much. Goodbye.
Happy
Bye.
Mother's Day and Mother's
Oh,
Substance and all the
Happy
mothers.
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's
Yes.
Day.
Every
Bye
day is
all.
Mother's Day.
Love you all.
Love you. Bye.